Greetings everybody, I am Lobo and welcome to episode 88 of my Minecraft survival series. Look at these guys, I'm losing a couple of these guys. Let me go grab them real quick. They grow up so fast, don't they? They just grow up so fast. Okay. This is so ridiculous. Anyway, as you can see, the Farm District Council, thank you, I appreciate that. The Farm District Council has been hard at work trying to find us some farmers. Now, we do have several brown coat villagers here. Unfortunately, none of these guys are actual farmers. They're fishermen, they're whatever else, like, comes in brown coats, but they're not actual farmers. And I think I may have gotten all these guys stuck on path blocks because I didn't follow my little path here. Usually I take one boat at a time, but I thought I'd go ahead and take the lot for the intro here. Didn't quite work out how I planned it to, but yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and leave these guys here for the time being. Let me go ahead and break these leads real quick, and then we'll go over here and pick them up, and I'll bring them into the city a bit later once I can, you know, wrangle them back up, because I'm gonna have to free them and then capture them back in boats and then take them over to the city. But this area should be safe. There's nowhere over here that many monsters can spawn except for like way over there, but as you can see, we got this area kind of cordoned off. So these guys, they're going to be perfectly fine here. And besides, we got our little doggy over here to watch after them. Oh, you're going to protect these guys, aren't you? Yes, my good doggy. So before we get down to business today, there's a couple more guys I want to introduce you to. First up, trampling all the crops over here on our carrot farm, this is Senior Carrot. Say hello to you. Are a magician. Look at that. Look what he's done here. That is actually pretty impressive. He's a magician, okay? And over here we have Wheatley. We of course know Wheatley. We've dealt with Wheatley many times. He tramples crops too still, and so does our beet farmer over here, Rudyard. Say hi to everybody, Rudyard. Okay, and also over here, our potato farmer has been trampling crops as well. We're going to deal with the crop trampling issue today, hopefully, but this is Tater. Hi, Tater. So Tater and Senior Carrots, they're currently not harvesting crops, but hopefully we can get them to start doing so by the end of today's episode. That's another goal I have in mind. Before we move on though, there is one more guy I want to introduce to you. That is our farmer who's over here at our trading stall in our farmer's market. This guy right here, his name is Goose. Hi Goose. His buddy has not yet shown up, but hopefully he will soon. And of course we also have Jumping Jack over at Jumping Jack Lanterns. He's been there for quite a while. But that's not all, because if we come back here to our Farm District Council office, you can see that we got plenty of guys just kind of roaming around here. I decided to leave a few in this area and not bring them over to Luna because we still do need to get our farmer, but we don't need to actually have our farmer not have anything in his inventory anymore. So we've cleared out the meeting room. We let them all out of there. They can feel free to roam around here freely. Excuse me. That's my office. Hello, Farm District Manager. Do you want to be the manager? Do you want to deal with all you guys? Everybody wants to be the boss until it comes time to actually do boss things. Anyway, as you can see, these guys are kind of roaming freely around here, so hopefully they'll give us a farmer. I got this area blocked off so they can't mess around with our door register and you know, interfere with the number of villagers that he's registering inside the village for the doors. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update as to where we stand at the moment villager-wise. Okay, one last update. I decided to release all the guys in boats over here, so they're all now congregating around this area. But hopefully they'll all be cool over here. Hopefully they will not, they're far enough away from the artificial village that we've created to where they're not going to merge Luna and the new artificial village that we're using to try to get a farmer. So everything should be good there, but I just want to go ahead and get those guys out of the boats now so that way we don't have to worry about it later and we can move on to more important things such as building. So what we're going to be doing today, to start off with, we have a couple projects I want to get done for the day. But the first thing I wanted to work on is our storage system for our various farms. So we got our beet farm, our carrot farm, and our potato farm. And we're going to go ahead and get started working on the storage system for that today. I'm going to start over here with our beet farm since we don't have to worry about the center harvesting mechanism for this one. We do have to figure out why he's trampling crops. So I think he's trying to actually jump up on the full blocks. Because if you notice, all the trampled crops are right in front of a full block with a slab on top of it. Maybe he's not seeing the slab and he's just trying to jump up there. That actually kind of makes sense to me. Is Wheatley doing the same thing? That is the question. Oh, yeah, right over there. Okay. So maybe that's a possibility. We'll have to look into that. but I think we're going to roll with something like this for our storage system. So it's not a huge storage system, but I mean, we're talking about beetroot, carrot, and potato here. We don't need a ton of it, but this is already going to be a ton of it. So, you know, it's enough for trading. That's all we're really using it for. So you can see here how we have this set up basically is we have it set up to fill from the bottom to the top. So if we throw this hopper into that hopper, then that hopper will filter down through all of these hoppers and through all these chests and wind up down here in this first chest. So we'll be filling this storage system up from the bottom to the top, which means that this chest right here is the only one we're actually going to be pulling from when we pull items out of there, and it will just automatically refill itself. Now the beetroot farm is going to be a little different from our carrot and potato farm because we are going to have to set up an item filter to filter out all these seeds and everything like that that's going to get picked up during the harvesting phase of this. So I think what we're going to do is set up our item filter below ground this time instead of up top like we did with our wheat farm. You know, I think this is going to be much more convenient because as you see right here, this is our collection mechanism right here. It's going to run all the stuff into this, the beetroot and the seeds. Now the seeds are going to filter down into this dropper right here, which is going to shoot them out into this cactus, disposing of them. So that way the only thing we're actually collecting in our storage system in all the chests is beetroot. So what's going to happen with the beetroot, it's going to continue along this line into this dropper right here, which is going to shoot them up through that soul sand bubble elevator right there and into our storage system. Now, of course, none of this is currently wired up, so we can't really do a test. So I guess I should probably go ahead and wire it up so we can do a test. And now the item drop-off station is done, the item filter is done, the item disposal is done, and the item elevator is done. So I think we can go ahead and send this minecart off to collect some seeds and some beetroot so we can actually go ahead and give this thing a little bit of a test run. So yeah, let's see if this actually works. Kind of improvised everything down there, but the minecart should be going around and collecting all the beetroot and seeds that it comes across. And there we go. You see it disappearing right there. Great work, Rudd. Keep it up. Can I call you Rudd? Rudd. I'm gonna call you Rudd from now on. Rudd, my man. All right, so let's go ahead and wait for the minecart to come back around, and we'll see what happens when it decides to drop off its stuff. We'll see if all this ends up actually working. So now we got our beetroot that should be going up there. This is the clock for the beetroot, but none of it is actually making its way up. Because it's going over there. Why is it going over there? That's not where you're supposed to be going. Okay, because the area above the dropper has to be a 3x3 of solid blocks. If it's not, we're gonna get items shooting out of the side, which means this is going to have to go. Let me fix this real quick, and then I'll be back with you. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Alright, so a few minor changes, but now this thing does seem to be working. We have all our beetroot going up there, and it's going into the chest just like we wanted it to, just like we planned. And yeah, I mean, this is all good. This all seems to be working just the way it was intended to now. As long as we see seeds coming through here, once the beetroot is done unloading, we should see seeds coming through. And then we can confirm that this whole system is working. And there go the seeds right there. Nothing but seeds. I have a seed. I don't want a seed. But yeah, this does seem to be working perfectly. It goes off to collect some more beetroot and some more seeds. You can go in there and yeah, I think we're good here. I think we are good here. Alright, so now before we move on to designing and building the silo that's going to actually surround their storage system, what I think we should probably address is the crop trampling issue, because that is really bugging me, to be honest with you. So what I think we can probably do here is, like, he thinks we can jump up on these one high blocks, is what I'm feeling. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. That's my leading hypothesis. So what if they were no longer one high blocks with a slab on top of them? What if they were two high blocks with a slab on top of them? I think that might kind of dissuade him from trying to jump up there, because he knows he can jump up one block, but he doesn't know that he can not jump up 2 blocks. Yeah. So you guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're just going to kind of squash his dreams and aspirations of being the high jump champion over here by building this up so high that he doesn't even try to jump up on these. And we'll see if it works. One thing that I'm concerned about is how is it going to look, though. I think the variation in height might actually look pretty decent. Yeah, you know, I do like that. So I'm going to go ahead and carry that all around, and we'll see how it works out for us. I got all the farmland rehoed, and I got all the fences built up, and before we do this to the other farms, I want to make sure that this is actually going to work. Just having these high fences now that he knows he can't jump up. I want to make sure that he's not going to try, that he's not going to trample any more crops before we do this to the other farms. So what I'm going to do is probably give this a little while. We'll go ahead and tackle some other stuff. We'll probably tackle the silo build, and then we'll come back here and just see how this farm is doing. If we have any trampled crops, then we might have to readdress, you know, how we're going to solve this. But But until then, I think we're probably going to be pretty good over here. Now, as far as our silos go, we're not going to go too crazy with the design, so I'm not going to spend too much time focusing on them in this episode. What I am going to do is try to figure out a decent design for this beet farm storage silo that we can carry over to our potato and our carrot silos. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this for a little while, and I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes, and we can see what it ends up looking like. Alright, I got a little progress update for you guys. This is the general structure to the height that we wanted, and I'm still kind of working out the details and figuring all this stuff out. It's all wooden. It's a little too wooden for me at the moment. And I want to add some color in here. We need some more color in our farm district is what I'm thinking. So naturally, what I'm going to gravitate towards is terracotta. And I've actually set up a couple different block palettes over here. We'll go have a look at those real quick and kind of figure out what we want to do over here. And I know that every time I want to add color to a build, it's always terracotta. There's terracotta this, there's terracotta that. But the thing is, I like terracotta. I really do, because unlike concrete, it's got a little bit of texture to it. It looks, you know, a little bit more dull, and I do like the way that looks. So let's go ahead and figure out what colors we're going to use for what over here. So what I think we're going to end up doing is probably for our beetroot, we'll go with maybe this purple color right here. So let's go ahead and eliminate this blue. We'll go ahead and get rid of this for right now. And for carrots, I've pretty much decided, yeah, we're going to go with orange for that. And for potatoes, I think we're going to go with this white terracotta. So let me go ahead and give those a try. Or maybe red. The purple wasn't really working for me, but I think red might work a little bit better for us. So I think that's what we're going to roll with. We'll do red terracotta for our beetroot, orange for carrots, white for potatoes. Let's go ahead and jump forward in time a little bit. I'm just putting the finishing touches on our storage silo right here. Of course, the roof is all half slab to prevent mob spawning. This whole thing should be non-spawnable because remember, we're going to have villagers walking through our entire city. We don't want anywhere in our city to spawn monsters, right? So let's go ahead and have a peek at this, and that is our storage silo design for our beetroot farm. Of course, the carrot and potato farms are going to look exactly the same, just with a slightly different color palette. I do like that though. I like that. I like how the roof is kind of rounded off a little bit. I like the shape of it. You know, it's different than the other stuff around here. And that's what we want to do, is we want to add some variety to our areas. Even though this is all part of the farming district, we want there to be some variety in here. We want everything to look unique and different and have its own feel to it. And yeah, I think that's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I thought that was a villager. So at this point, let's go ahead and put on a bit of music, and we'll knock out the other silos for the carrot and potato farms. Welcome back, everybody, and we are here now with silos. Of course, the carrot silo right here, it's not operational yet. The potato one's not operational yet. Unlike the beetroot, we still have to come up with a harvesting mechanism for this to actually get our foods flowing into here. But yeah, something I realized during that time lapse was that when these chests were rendering in, they look like they were all separate chests, but I can assure you that they're not. They are all full double chests. If we peek in here real quick, I'm just going to tunnel my way through this wall real quick and show you guys that these are all, in fact, full double chests and not the separate chests that were rendering in for Watchdog. Like, I don't know why they were showing up like that, but yeah, they're actually full double chests. You can open all of them up and see that there's, a double chest worth of inventory spaces in there. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on back here. Another thing I did during that time lapse was I sought out to kind of more well-define our paths, so that way we know like how you're going to actually get around the farm district. So if we come around this way, you'll see that this path leads us directly to our potato silo, and it kind of winds around to the left here, and that's going to take us to our beetroot silo. It's going to take us to the farm district council office over here and everything like that. Now, I did notice that Rudyard has not trampled any of his crops over here. Everything is looking perfect. Rud is amazing. So yeah, what we did was we took this double high fence thing that I do not want this, Rud. You can have it, keep it. We took this double high fence thing and we extended over here. We surrounded Wheatley's farm with it. We still have to rehoe the land and everything like that, but I think it should work for him, just like it should work for all of our other guys over here, Senior Carrots, and of course Tater. Now, we accomplished a lot in this episode so far, but there's still one more thing I want to accomplish before we call it, and I want to start getting these crops harvested. I want to go ahead and set up our harvesting mechanism over here and get all that working. So, Senior Carrots, I'm sorry about this, but you're about to get your feet wet. Because we are going to be using water to harvest our crops. I'm thinking we're going to use dispensers filled with water that will wash our crops basically off of their farmland and into a collection area. Now, the farms that we initially built, they are not set up for this. I don't know what I was thinking when I actually built the farms because I did not have the whole picture in my head at that point. But yeah, some of the stuff we did is unnecessary. It's still going to work, but a lot of the stuff we did previously was unnecessary. So I got all the dispensers in on our potato farm and they are loaded at this point. But yeah, what's going to happen is it's going to wash our crops this way, right? Which means all our crops are going to end up on this edge right here, which means all this track we laid down in the middle, completely unnecessary. We do not need it at all. And I'm not going to remove it either. Out of sheer laziness, I'm just going to leave it there. But in the future, we do know that if we need track, where we can find it, we also want to make sure that our crops are not going to fall down any of these holes that we have opened up for our water and for our lighting as well. So I think what we're going to do is replace these fences over here with leaf blocks, which should keep all of our crops within the bounds where we want them. But now I am seeing a problem with this. Oh, Tater. He's trying to jump on top of the leaf block, thinking this slab is not there. So let's look at our options here. We could stack our leaf blocks double high so that way he doesn't attempt to jump on them, but I am not a big fan of that loss of visibility. So what I think we're going to be doing here is maybe putting fence posts on top of our leaf blocks. I do think that looks a bit better. It's a little awkward when you think about it, but I don't think it looks necessarily bad. It definitely looks better than this, I think. I don't know, maybe that's just wishful thinking, I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and give that a try and hope that he doesn't try to leap over this. He should know that he can't jump on top of these fence posts. Like, I can because I have jump boost, but he does not. So, I don't know, we'll see if this works. I'm hoping it does, because if it doesn't, I don't know. All right, so we'll see if that works, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and get back to work constructing our harvesting mechanism over here. Now, we want to make sure that we can harvest all these crops using just these 4 dispensers right here. So let's go ahead and give this a quick test run. So we'll make sure that the water covers all of this area, which it looks like it does. That is perfect. It washes all our crops out to the edge. I am so sorry about giving you wet shoes, Tater. We will definitely fix that, because how I think we're going to harvest this is we're going to let Tater do it. We're going to actually give him a house that he can go into and harvest the crops himself. So that way he's not out here, he's not getting his feet wet, and also he's not going to be trampling any of the soil because he won't be out here. So he's going to be in charge of the harvesting, and he's also going to have a nice place to stay, which is, I think, going to work out for us all. So you'll be in charge of pretty much everything. This farm is going to be yours to run. I just need to go ahead and get it hooked up. Yeah, go ahead and, yeah, that's good, because we're going to need to test this again. Now, the idea here is that he's going to plant his crops by day and harvest them by night. And how we're going to end up doing that is I gave him a little bit of a starter house right here. We'll, of course, make it look a little bit better as time goes on. But right now, I just have a door that he's going to go into at night, hopefully. And if he does, in fact, go in there at night, then what we can do is we can set up a pressure plate on the inside that he'll trip. And that will be how he ends up harvesting the crops. Well, it looks like night is now upon us, so let's go ahead and make our way back over to Tater's farm. In the meantime, what I've been doing is getting Senior Carrots' farm set up pretty much the exact same way we have our potato farm currently, just so we can make some progress a little bit quicker. So the workday is done, and it's looking like Tater is making his way to the door. Yes, and this would have been our harvest, right? This would have been our harvest. So what I think we're going to do next, you know what? Let me just show you. I'll just show you. Hold on. Give me a few minutes. All right, now I've had to test this a few times, and I know Tater is getting so fed up with me, but I have to do it again to show everybody watching at home. So this is our pressure plate. This is what he's going to stand on at night, just like this, and Tater knows it's coming. Look at him. He knows it's coming. How dare you do this to me again is what he's saying right now. How dare you? But that's what's going to happen. He's going to stand on it. That's going to harvest our crops at night. And then when he gets off of his pressure plate and goes back into the farm in the morning, this whole thing is going to shut off by itself. So it should shut off any minute now. Yeah, there it goes. And then he will get back to replanting his crops, and we'll just keep going through this whole process. Of course, he won't be out there. You won't be out there for this. I know you're so mad. You are so mad. We also did the same thing over here to Senior Carrots' carrot farm, and preemptively, I am so sorry for this again. But this is going to give him wet shoes and harvest all of our carrots at the same time. Now, of course, they will not be out there, as I said, getting wet shoes when this whole thing is actually set up, because they'll be the ones stepping on the pressure plate doing the harvesting, and that whole area out there will be clear. We won't get any trampled crops or anything like that once this is all set up. They are so mad at me. Both of them are just so angry with me at this point. But let's go ahead and see how this is working. So we're going to have this pressure plate... this pressure plate right here, which is then going to activate this piece of redstone dust, sending a signal through that repeater into this block right here, which will activate this redstone dust, which will send a signal to this observer right here. And that observer is going to send a signal into this block, activating this redstone dust, and that's going to send a signal over here to this block. Now, this is where it starts getting a little weird. So what we're going to do is send a signal out this way up to our torch tower right here, which will prime all our dispensers to get set off. And then this is going to also send a signal around this way a little while later, which will send a signal back into our torch tower, letting our dispensers know you need to unleash the flood. And that's going to be the same thing for pulling the water back in. It'll get primed, then the waters will recede, and that'll be that. And it'll happen every time they step onto and off of the pressure plate. Now, I kind of cobbled this together, and there's probably a better way to do it, but you know what? This works for me, so I am happy with it. I've gone ahead and provided Tater and Senior Carrots with some temporary living arrangements until we can get around to building their actual houses in the next episode. And you missed. You missed, Senior Carrots. You kind of overshot your door a little bit there. So still a few kinks to work out. Those are things that we're going to tackle in the next episode because, well, I am just out of time for today. Do you want to go inside? You can go inside. Oh, you did that on purpose. You did that on purpose. There we go. So it is functional at this point, which is awesome. We'll be collecting our potatoes and carrots and our beetroot and all that stuff now, which is awesome. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. All the minecarts should be running at this point. We have all of our crops going into their various silos and into the farmer's market, which is awesome. We got some carrots coming in now. Let's go ahead and make our way over to our potato silo just to make sure that's working. I want to confirm that everything is working before we start moving on to other stuff. So let's go ahead and make our way over to our potato silo. We'll see what we got in here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We got potatoes coming in now, and let's go check on our main man, Rudyard, over here, Rud, and see what he's been up to. And yeah, this should be working because I checked this when we left here earlier. So, oh my goodness, Rud, that is how you farm. That is how you farm. Yes. Yes. Anyway, there is one last thing I need to show you guys before we adjourn. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to bring you Maverick. Look at the camera, Maverick. He is our final farmer. Goose is going to be so happy that he's here. We'll put him into the farmer's market next episode. That's the last guy we needed. The farm district council is now adjourned. It is now adjourned, everybody. So that is going to be it for us today. If you have enjoyed this episode, please feel free to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.